Okay, so nobody's really talking about this, but in-flight theft is becoming a real problem, and it's honestly kind of terrifying. Like, did you hear about that recent case on a Scoot Airlines flight where a passenger was accused of stealing over $23,000 in cash from multiple travelers' bags? What's even scarier is how organized some of these thieves are. We're not just talking about someone sneaking a wallet when no one's looking. They actually plan this out. They target specific flights, wait for the exact right moment when everyone's relaxed or distracted, think meal service or bathroom breaks, and then go through overhead bins like they own the place. Most passengers don't notice a thing until it's already way too late. But don't panic. Today's video is all about exposing how these thefts happen, the sneaky tactics these people use, and most importantly, how you can protect yourself every time you board a plane. Let's get into it. When are you most likely to get robbed in the air? If you want to keep your valuables safe while flying, you've got to know when to stay on high alert, because some flights basically roll out the red carpet for thieves. Let's start with overnight flights. Those peaceful-looking red-eyes are a thief's dream. The cabin lights are dimmed, people are dozing off, and a lot of passengers have taken sleep aids, which basically knocks out their ability to notice anything. One recent case exposed a guy who would intentionally book red-eye flights just so he could target people while they slept. He ended up stealing almost $1,000 in cash from passengers' carry-ons before anyone even realized what was happening. And don't think those 6 a.m. departures are any safer. Early morning flights are actually another prime time for theft. Why? Because people are tired, barely awake, rushing through the airport after dragging themselves out of bed. They're not paying attention. Half the time, folks are too groggy to even notice if their bag's been unzipped or if someone reached in when they weren't looking. Plus, early mornings at the airport usually mean shift changes for airline staff. Fewer eyes on the cabin during boarding equals more chances for a thief to slip by unnoticed. It's literally the perfect window for someone looking to quietly rummage through the overhead bins while everyone else is half asleep or distracted. That's not all. International flights are where the majority of thefts actually happen. Reports show they account for nearly 70% of all in-flight theft incidents. And it makes sense. People flying internationally are way more likely to be carrying more cash, jewelry, electronics, and other valuables. Not to mention, the longer flight times mean more chances to snoop around. People sleep deeper, use sleeping pills, and generally let their guard down for hours. And let's not forget, traveling internationally comes with its own set of distractions. You're dealing with different languages, unfamiliar customs, and just trying to figure out where to go half the time. And that confusion? Yeah, it's the perfect cover for someone looking to swipe your stuff when you're not paying attention. But here's the thing. No matter where you're flying, whether it's a quick domestic trip or a long-haul international flight, there are 3 specific moments during every flight that security experts say are the most dangerous when it comes to theft. And if you're not paying attention during these windows, you're making yourself an easy target. Let's start with the boarding process. It might feel like just a messy, annoying part of the flight, but according to security data, more than 40% of in-flight thefts happen before the plane even takes off. Think about it. People are standing in the aisles, trying to find their seats, arguing over overhead bin space, juggling bags, and not watching their surroundings. It's pure chaos. And that's exactly what thieves count on. They'll pretend to be looking for their seat, but they're actually scoping out unattended bags in overhead bins or grabbing items from seatback pockets when nobody's looking. You're so busy getting settled, you'd never notice someone slip their hand into your row and walk away with your headphones, wallet, or passport. And it's not just shady passengers you've got to worry about. Sometimes the people who are supposed to protect you are the ones doing the stealing. Yup, There's actual security footage of a TSA agent, yes, a Transportation Security Administration employee, caught stealing straight out of a passenger's bag at a checkpoint. This happened back in 2015 at Miami International Airport, and the footage, it's unreal. But Miami's not alone. CNN did a deep dive into TSA theft complaints between 2010 and 2014, and what they found was, honestly, disturbing. We're talking over 30,000 reports of valuables mysteriously disappearing, mostly from checked luggage, and a whopping $2.5 million in filed claims. Now, yeah, that's old data, but let's be real, that doesn't mean it's stopped. If anything, the number of complaints has only gone up. We just don't hear about it as much anymore because, well, it's become so common people barely react to it. So who's the worst of the worst when it comes to airport theft hotspots? JFK in New York holds the not-so-glamorous crown for the most reports. LAX in Los Angeles is right behind it, and Orlando International comes in third. These airports process millions of bags a year, and while not every TSA agent is shady, it only takes one bad one to mess up your whole trip. Next up is meal service. One flight attendant from a major US airline actually told Executive Traveler that this is a prime time for theft. Why? Because everyone's distracted. You're focused on your tray, your drink, your food. And chances are, you've moved your bag, your wallet, or your headphones to somewhere a little more out of the way. And that's exactly when thieves make their move. They know you're not watching your stuff, and the cabin crew is busy serving meals, not monitoring what's going on in the aisles. It's the perfect moment to slip a hand into an overhead bin or under a seat while no one's paying attention. And finally, deplaning. It might seem like the flight is over and you can relax, but actually, this is the moment you need to be the most alert. The second that seatbelt sign goes off, it's a total free-for-all. People are standing, stretching, grabbing bags, looking for their phones. Nobody's watching anyone else. Thieves love this phase because they can blend in with the crowd. Everyone's in a rush to catch their connection or just get off the plane, so it's easy for someone to grab the wrong bag by accident or reach into an overhead bin and walk away with someone else's carry-on while no one notices in the chaos. If you're enjoying this video, click the like and subscribe button. Also, turn on post notification so you can be notified when we post new and exciting contents like this one. Okay, now that you know when and where thieves are most likely to strike during a flight, let's talk about how they actually pull this stuff off right under your nose. And we've got to start with one of the easiest and most common targets, your underseat bag. Airlines encourage you to place your personal item under the seat in front of you. In fact, it's an FAA requirement during takeoff and landing. Seems harmless, right? But here's what they don't tell you. That exact position makes it ridiculously easy for someone to reach into it, without you even noticing. Imagine you're sitting comfortably, maybe watching a movie, maybe dozing off. Meanwhile, the person in front of you could quietly lean forward, reach between their legs, and bam! They've got access to your bag under their seat, because technically, that's where it's sitting. If you've got side pockets with loose zippers, they can easily unzip just enough to grab cash, earbuds, or even something serious like a passport, all without shifting the bag enough to raise suspicion. But it's not just the person in front of you, the passenger next to you, or even someone casually strolling down the aisle while you're asleep or using the washroom. Yeah, they can strike too. All it takes is 1 second and a bag that's easy to get into. How to protect your bag mid-flight. One super simple way to reduce the risk is to use small luggage locks or even just zipper clips on your bag. And no, it doesn't need to be a full-on TSA-approved lock either. Even something basic that clips or fastens the zippers together adds just enough friction to slow down a thief. Because here's the truth. Thieves go for the easiest, fastest targets. If they see a bag that's locked, or even just clipped shut, they're way more likely to move on and find someone else who's not paying attention. Another super underrated trick to protect your stuff: once you're in the air, pull your personal item behind your legs. Seriously. Not only does it give you a little more legroom, but more importantly, it puts your bag in a spot that no one else can reach without literally crawling under your seat. And unless you're flying with a toddler thief, you're good. But here's something most people don't think about. The type of bag you use matters a lot. Watch your carry-on and seatback pocket. Prime targets for in-flight theft. All right, so the second major theft risk? It's actually right above your head, in the overhead bin where you stash your carry-on bag. Here's the deal. Some thieves will pretend they're just grabbing something from their own bag, but really, they're slipping valuables out of yours, especially from those side compartments or open pockets you find on soft-sided rolling suitcases or carry-ons. This usually happens during boarding, when everyone's distracted trying to settle in, or right after landing, when people are scrambling to grab their stuff and get off the plane as fast as possible. Honestly, it's the perfect storm for a sneaky thief. So, how do you keep your stuff safe up there? First, try to store your bag across the aisle instead of directly above your seat. This way, you can keep a better eye on it. Second, use zipper clips or small locks on any compartments, just like you should with your personal item bag. And seriously, never put valuables or important documents in exterior pockets. Those are the easiest to reach into. Now, moving on to thief tactic number 3, the seatback pocket in front of you. Yeah, it seems super convenient for stashing your phone, passport, or wallet while you head to the bathroom, right? Well, it's actually one of the riskiest spots to leave your stuff. These pockets are totally exposed and visible to anyone walking down the aisle, or even to your neighbors nearby. A thief can easily reach in, pretending to steady themselves during turbulence or just while stretching their legs. And the worst part? Most of us don't even think twice about slipping our valuables in there because it feels safe and handy. But here's the catch. If something disappears from that pocket, you might not even realize it's gone until much later, unless you're actually checking it regularly, which most people don't do. And here's something a lot of people don't realize. You definitely don't want to forget anything valuable in the seatback pocket. Once you've deplaned, you usually can't get back on to retrieve it. Flight attendants only do a quick check between flights, so most likely it's going to be the cleaning crew or the next passenger sitting in your seat who finds your stuff, not the airline staff. And that means your chances of getting it back? Pretty slim. So the best way to avoid losing anything important from that pocket, just don't use it for valuables at all. For anything you need frequent access to during the flight, like your phone, passport, or wallet, consider using a crossbody bag, a large jacket pocket, or even a fanny pack that stays attached to you the whole time. So, what do you think about this list? Did we miss anything important? Let us know down in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.